Hello everyone and welcome to Sewing Saturdays. My name is Gina and today we're going to be doing it's a little gift bag, I guess slush. You can use this as a lunch bag or something to put a little mug to give it to your friends as a gift. Years ago I made a lot of these little bags. I'm going to show you how it works. So you open it here and then I put snaps. Then there's a little bag inside. I'm gonna put it like that so you can see probably better. I'll move it like that. And also has snaps here in the bottom. So it's like a little, they call origami bags. It's literally just sewing and fold. So this one here, as you see, I actually have it, you open the little snap here. You open it and I actually have a little mug. And of course you can even give this to friends with put little tea bags in there also, and give it to your friends for gifts, Christmas presents, even for teachers, or you can use it for a lunch bag. Just change the measurements, make it slightly bigger and you're good. If you use it for a lunch bag, you can use this part as your placemat, so you can have your food there, so I think this is, at least I like it, and I had a lot of friends that had liked it. So I'm going to give you all the measurements and the materials that you're going to be needing to make this. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to put this away. I'm going to actually leave it here because we're going to go step by step how I did these. So I'm going to put it here for the side for now. I picked these materials that I have here. This one here. For the little bag, the inside bag, we're going to use 2 pieces of fabric, and please take a pen and paper and write down these measurements because there is no PDF to download. This is just a measurement project. So for the inside bag, I'm using 2 pieces of fabric, and on this case I'm going to be actually making this one here. I believe it's from Northcott. I can definitely tell you the name of the fabric afterwards if it's something that you like and you will be looking for it. So I have 2 pieces of fabric. Again, it's 18.5 by 18.5. So it's a completely square. So if you want to make it bigger, you can definitely do 20.5 by 20.5, or they have to be squares. All right. And for my placemat slush carrier, this one that I have here, okay, and my outside looks like this. I'm using a 20.5 by 20.5. Okay, I'm actually doing this one here that I have here in the pink. I actually use the same measurement as the bag. I use the 18.5, but I want my pockets here, this part here, to fold a little bit more in. So I decided that I would give it an extra inch. So at least when I do this part here, I'm gonna push this a little wider. I'll show you as we go along. Okay, so I'm gonna put this to the side again with my bag. And so that's what you need for those. Then we're gonna need for our straps. It has 2 straps, one in each side. I already actually sewed my straps, but I'm gonna tell you what you need. You need 2 inches of this fabric and 2 inches by 18. Okay. And what I did with my straps, I actually used a stabilizer, maybe a cotton stabilizer. You can use fusible fleece. You're going to put right sides together. I think we've done that in other videos, so I don't think it's necessary that I'll show you how to do that. You're going to sew them right sides together, and then you're going to flip them inside out and do a top stitch. Okay? We're also going to need string. That's to go in our bag here. Like here I have ribbon on this one. So you're going to need ribbon or whatever that you want to do. In inches, I have about 29 inches. So I need 2 pieces about 29 inches. That's what I'm using. All right. If you're confused sometimes with the measurements, I'm telling you in inches and you don't know what that's in centimeters. If you actually go on Google and you enter 18 inches to centimeters, it will give you the proper measurement. So you don't really have to guess or worry that you're not going to get the proper measurement. All right, so what we're going to do now, since we already have that, we're also going to need snaps. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. I'm going to go ahead and start sewing my pieces. So I'm going to put right sides together and do the same thing with this one. Right sides together. And I'm going to go ahead and sew them all the way around. Leave an opening. I'm going to leave a little opening about 2 inches to flip inside out. Okay? So when I'm done that, and my seam allowance is going to be 1/4 of an inch. I want a small seam allowance all the way around because I only did 18.5. So that 1/2 inch that I put extra, it's my seam allowance, so 1/4 for each side. Okay? Again, we're going to always do, as we always do in our projects, we're going to start sewing in like that. Okay, we sew in and then out. So we always end up with that perfect fold when we flip it inside out. All right, so we're going to do that. Go sew all the way around. We're going to trim our little corners here after it's sewed. After you sew it, you trim this one, all the 4 corners. Then you flip it inside out. Give it a good press, and we're going to do a top stitch. All right, okay, I'll be back as soon as I sew these. Okay, so I'm back. So I sew my pieces. So I have one piece here that's now should be about 20 by 20, and one piece that's 18 by 18. So we're going to start with this bag here. Okay, so I'm going to start with the smaller pieces. The smaller piece, sorry. So I'm going to put the 20 here. And what I'm going to go here, I'm going to pick 2 corners. So I'm going to decide what color do I want outside. So, and then I'm going to pick 2 corners, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to measure with a fabric marker. Use something that erases with the iron or that you can rub off. I'm going to go 6 inches. And then on this side here, I'm also going to go from there to there 6 inches. Okay. The opposite corner, I'm going to do the same thing. Mark 6 inches and mark 6 inches. Okay. Also, the other side here, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to draw a line from corner to corner. Okay. I'm going to turn this to the other side. Okay. And I'm also on the same side that I did that line, I'm also going to draw a line across here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do with this marking here, I want this to be my folds, like here, as you see here on this one. That's, you know, if I want my pink to be out, okay, then I will fold these this way, okay. If I want the blue to be out, then I will fold it this way. In this case here, I think I want my blue to be out, so I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna turn it to this side again, and I'm actually gonna fold 6 inch, see, let me push it down so you see, on the 6 inch line here and here, and I'm gonna put a pin here, okay, and then I'm gonna go here, 6 inch line, and here, I'm gonna fold it there, and I'm gonna do that there, and I'm gonna put a pin. Okay, then I have this part here, okay, this side here that I need to bring this to the middle. Okay, so what I did here, from this tip to this tip, I drew a line. Okay, so I have my line here. I think this one is slightly off, is because this is now folded straight on the 6. Okay. Okay, so I drew a line from there to there. Okay, and so I'm gonna go here now, and I'm gonna go 4 inches and 4 inches this way. Okay, so, and I'm gonna bring that 4 inches tip to the line that I drew there. the 4-inch, and since I had this line here and the line here, I want that to be even. So like that. So I'm right on. There's my 4 inches, my 4, and my tip there. Then again, on this side, the same thing, 4 inches and 4 inches. Then I'm gonna bring that 4 inches to the line also, okay? And again, because I have that line across, that should follow my line there, okay? So, and this is done like this. So now I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna put a pin on the middle, holding it in place. I'm gonna go here in my fold and I'm gonna mark about 3/4 of an inch. That's from my string. On the fold, 3/4 of an inch. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna draw a line. Go here, 3/4 of an inch, draw a line. I mean, if it's something really thin that you're putting through, can be smaller. You can even do a 1/2 inch. In this case, I'm gonna do 3/4 just in case I want to put something a little bigger. Okay. So now you're gonna go to the machine and you're gonna sew here, here, this line across, and this one here. And I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. So you're done sewing here, here, and here. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're actually gonna fold this, try to match our little sides here. If your measurements were correct, they should probably work. If they're a little off, it's not a big deal. After it's done with the strings, you wouldn't even notice. I wouldn't be too over concerned. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, I'm just gonna take a couple strings that's here and trim whatever I have here. So I'm gonna take this to the sewing machine. I'm gonna put it together like that. And I'm gonna do a seam from here. See if you see where they meet here. From here down, close to the edge. Also, the same thing here, from here down, close to the edge. Okay? After I sew that, okay, I will be right back and show you to do our corners. Okay? So we're gonna do our corners right after. Okay, so I sewed there and there. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open this part here. You see I have a seam there, so I know that's my middle. And I also have that there. So I'm gonna match that seam to that middle there. And see if you can see you better this way. Okay, so then I'm gonna mark about 1.5 inch in. And I'm gonna draw a line. Okay. So for now, I'm just going to put a pin. Gonna make sure this is straight. So 1.5 from the tip in, and I'm going to draw that line. This is where I'm going to sew it. And if you see, my seam is there, my seam is there. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so middle of the seam here with the middle here, and I'm gonna draw 1.5 from the tip . So you mark your corners. You're going to take this to the sewing machine and sew across, and then your little bag is done. All you have to do is pass the strings through here, and I'm going to go ahead and already pass my strings that I had here somewhere, and I will show you that anyway, just in case you're a little confused. So I'll sew the corners and I'll be right back. So I'm back. Sew my corners here and there. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to flip it to the other side and adjust it here. As you see, this is how it ends up here on the sides. And again, there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to pass the ribbon that I have here. I'm going to use a safety pin. There's tools that you can get to pass the ribbon, but a pin works just fine. So what you're going to do, you're going to go all the way around, pass here, and keep going to where you started. Okay, to where you started, and you leave it there. Then you do the other one on the other side. Okay, so again, so now you're going to start on the other side. So you're going to start here, and again has to go all the way around till where you started. Okay, I think I just lost one of my ribbons, so I'm going to pull that one out, finish this one, and do the other one, and then do a knot so I don't lose it. Okay, so when I went so I'm gonna just knot it here. So when I put the other side in, this one doesn't come out. So now I'm gonna go again. Let's try this again. This can happen sometimes. I'm gonna go here. I forget to mention these parts here where the ribbon is, make sure you really secure it well, because when you pull the ribbons on and off, sometimes they have the tendency of coming out. So make sure you do a really good stitch. Okay, see? Okay, and then keep going on this side. All right, and there we have it. Okay, so this is done. Now we gotta put our snaps. Okay, so I'm gonna go here, find about my middle here, but maybe about 1 inch from your seam in, 1.5 inch and 1.5 inch in. You're gonna do a marking. So you're gonna go 1.5, 1.5. You're gonna do a marking. I don't know what I did my rule. Okay, let me. Okay, let me see. I don't have my ruler here, so I'm just gonna use my mat. So yeah, about 1.5 and 1.5, and this is what I want my snaps to be. So I have some gray snaps here, and normally this snap tool that they sell, you can go on Amazon and get it, or even craft stores have them. They comes with a little tool that has a poking part that you poke it through here and then leaves a little hole. So when you have your little snap, you can just go there, and through that little hole you push it through. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead. I think I've done snaps already in another different video, so you can always go back to that. So you're gonna pull it through, and then again, you know, there's a female and a male. You're gonna have to use that one there, and then use the tool and put it in. Okay, I'm not gonna do that on camera, so you're gonna use the tool and put it in, one there and one there. Also, on my bag here, as you see, I actually have one here. I put one there, one there. So what I did was I brought this over, I pulled it off a little bit, I brought this over here, and I put a pin here on the tip and one in here. So then this came over and went like that. So you mark it where you want it, more in the middle, so your bag ends up like this. Okay, just to close the top. Okay, and your back would be like that. You don't have to, this is optional. You can always leave it like that if you'd like. Okay, but I like closing mine. So now we're gonna, after we're done the snaps, we're gonna start with the placemat. So the placemat that I have here, this is the one that we're doing placemat to hold it. I have a 20 by 20 here. Okay, so now as you see, if you see on this side, I have the folds also, right? So I'm just gonna grab, just give me a second, let me just grab my measuring, my ruler, so I can show you. We're really gonna do more or less what we did with our other one, right? So I'm going to get one corner. Okay, and on this one, as you see, this one is slightly smaller because I did smaller measurements, but here I had about 4 inches. Okay, and 4 inches. Actually, let's see. We had actually 4.5. Sorry about that. So 4.5. So we have the fold, our fold here is 4.5, and then you fold. So I'm gonna go here 4.5. If you don't want to do your measurements and you want to kind of just you can also do that. You can always bring this in and bring that in. Okay, that's what I had here. Okay, and as you see, mine is about, in my case here, I think what I'm gonna do line here and line there, because on this one, as you see, I have a little pocket here, but it's not deep enough. I want it to be a little deeper. That's the reason that I actually did my measurement here 20.5 versus 18.5, because this one was 18.5. So on this one here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and draw my lines across here. And because this is really wide, okay, I'm just gonna do it like that and then join them. So I know that's my middle. Okay. Okay. Oops. That didn't work. Okay. All right. Guess my pen is not working properly, but let's try this again. Okay, better. We're also going to do the same thing on this side. Since this is not long enough, I'm going to kind of, if it's not long enough and you're not sure, you can always fold this in half and fold in half. And you know, kind of this is the middle here. So you can go like that. All right. And then from there on, it'll be okay. See? Okay, so back to this. So we have our lines. So we're gonna fold this, so at least we know we're folding that direction. We're folding it straight, and then this one also gonna come. Okay, this also is gonna come this way. And what I want is, what I'm trying to do here, I want to make sure that my bag is gonna fit in there. Okay, and I need to have at least, I would say about 2 inches, about 1.5 in each side extra from the bag, right? So as you see here, this part here is folded more, so I need from here to here to be exactly the same measurement as from here to here. So I would have to open this a little bit more, right? And if I bring this down, you see it's almost kind of straight. So if you have this kind of like that, you know you're more or less straight. But in my case here, I actually want this to overlap a little bit more, so I'm gonna fold, I'm gonna mark, let's see what I have here. About 7 inches, but it's gonna be, would be, yeah, about 7 inches. And I'm gonna mark a dot here. Then we're gonna do 7 inches, so let's do down then all our corners that way. So if we decide that 7 inches was good, we're gonna mark it there. Then we're gonna go here. We also gonna mark it there, my 7 inches. All right, and to this side, 7 inches. I'm really trying to explain my thinking, because if you're doing something that you want to do a little bit bigger, then at least you know how the process works, so you can at least do it that way. So now I'm gonna go here to my 7 inches and that, and here to my 7 inches, and I'm gonna fold that. And the same thing here. Where's my 7-inch in? My 7-inch in. I'm gonna fold that, and 7-inch in, and 7-inch in, and I'm gonna make sure I'm at a 7-inch, and this is done. Okay, so now as you see on my placemat, I have these block here in the middle. So what I did was I went here and I drew a line here. From here to here, I made a line, okay? Right, and I lift it, okay? See the line that I have there? I lift this and I mark there too, and I mark there too, where the line is. Then I went ahead, I turned this corner. No, this is with the line that I did, and this is the two little markings that I had here. So I'm gonna join those two, and I'm gonna sew a line across here. So the best way, so we don't make a mistake, since I had my lines there, I'm gonna go put my ruler on top here. I'm gonna find those two markings in the line that I had there, right? And I'm gonna replace the line to this side so I know where to sew. Okay, so then I'm gonna go ahead and sew that. All right, so I'll be right back. Sorry guys, I'm back, but I actually didn't sew my seam because I was telling you to sew here on the blue side. You can't sew on the blue side if you want your placemat to be with the blue, your main color. But I actually want my my little cars to be more on the outside, more visible. So literally I'm going to be sewing is on this side. So I'm going to turn this around, and since I already had that line there and I also had a line there, I'm going to put this together and I'm going to sew over here instead. So it's the same thing, it's the same lines that we made. It's just I'm just going to sew it on this side versus on this side. So then when I open this, I think you guys have seen my tissue holder, and it's something similar to this. You actually sew that there, and then you have a button that comes through. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew this like this. Okay, so I'll be right back. So I went ahead, I sewed this here and here. I took it to the iron and I press it down. Okay, so now I have to decide where I want my snaps for my bag, right? So I have my bag here, and my little bag is going to be here. So I'm going to mark about, let's see, I have to see where my snaps are here in the bottom, right? So what I'll do is I fold my since I had my markings here, this is where my snaps are. I'm gonna go here, and on that line I'm gonna see exactly the line that I have here across, because if I fold this in half, that was the line that we did before, that's still there, the one from corner to corner, right? This is still our line that I didn't take out yet. So I'm gonna go here, gonna fold my bag like that. I'm gonna find my markings. I didn't put the snaps yet, but I will. But it's here and here. That's the little markings that I have here. And so I'm gonna go here and kind of divide this distance between here and here. I'm gonna divide that. Or you can find the middle of the bag and then go from there to there. But since I prefer to do it this way, I prefer to see, okay, so this is my bag. This is how it's gonna be. So I have here about one, there's 1.5 here, there's one here. So I need to move it slightly over here. Okay, so 1.5 and 1.5. And I'm gonna go right ahead on this line, and I'm gonna do another dot here. This is where my snap is going to be, there, and this is where my other one was, and there. Okay, so I have my two markings here for my snaps that's gonna match these snaps here, so when they go on. All right, so we're gonna do that, and of course you're gonna install the snaps. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and already install these, put these here. Just give me a second while I get my tool, put all them in. All right, so let's get this done. Snaps are down. They're more difficult because you have a lot of fabric to go through, but they're in. So now my bag goes here. See, gonna snap it on. Okay, so it's good. So it's balanced. Okay, now I gotta figure out how tall I want this. So what I'm gonna go here, maybe about 5 inches. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we'll do 6 inches. So I'm gonna go from here down, and from here down, no, these opposite corners. Okay, I'm gonna take this out, and the reason that I'm showing how to measure that is because just in case your bag, you end up with a bigger bag, or you want to put something else in there, at least you can adjust the height so it will accommodate whatever you put in it. All right, so and if you have a set pattern, then sometimes you get confused how to change that. So I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna 6 and 6. 6 and 6. Okay, so I'm gonna fold there, to this side, okay, and that to that side on the 6. Where do I have my 6? Can see a gray on gray is kind of hard to see, so let me mark it better. 6 and 6. I need to see over here. All right, see it better, mark it there, put a pin. So now what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna sew a top stitch all the way around this. So we're gonna do sew here top stitch, here top stitch, here top stitch, and here a top stitch. All right, so I'll go do that and I'll be right back. So I mark my 6 as I mentioned before. You mark your 6 and 6 and then you would fold it this way. But I actually don't want my tabs to be to this side. I could make my tabs to this side, but I don't want to. I want my tabs to be to this side. So what I'm gonna do, that fold that I have there, I'm gonna fold it this way and on that 6. Okay, and then do the top stitch all the way around. I'm sorry about that. It's just this, there's a lot of options that you can actually do, and sometimes you know, you get a little bit, you know, you think, okay, maybe I do it this way, maybe I do it that way. So this is just options. You can do it the other way. Okay, and just add your handles, and you leave it like this, then your bag will end up like this. Okay, and it ends up like this plain. Or you flip this to the side and to this side and sew that there, and then your bag ends up like this. So it's optional. So what we're gonna do, I want mine to be to this side, so I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna do my 6 and my 6 here, and I'm gonna fold these in, and I'm gonna sew there right at the edge, and here right at the edge. Also here I'm gonna do a top stitch at the edge here, this side and that side. And then I end up with something like this. After I've done that, as you see here, after I've done that, I have my straps, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go here to right to the tip, and I'm just gonna put in my strap. After, you see the tip here, this tip just under that seam, and then I'm gonna sew this here. So I'm gonna go here, I'm already gonna show you how to do that. So then you're gonna go here, do the same thing. You push it all the way down until this little tip here disappears. It's under that seam, and do it there. Then you put a pin, so, and then you're gonna sew on top of that seam across. Make sure you secure it really well. You're gonna do the same thing to the other side. Okay, exactly the same thing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and sew all of that, and I'll be right back. So I'm back. So I did top stitch across here, a top stitch here, and I attach my handles. Trim any loose threads you have. Okay, and then you can take it to the iron and press to get any markings that you still have. Just don't go with the iron over the plastic snaps, because you might melt them, so be careful with that. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put my bag in and measure to put the snaps to close it. So in my little bag here, I'm gonna close that there and close that there. That's my middle. How about a little mug? Okay. And I'm gonna bring this up here. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna put one snap here where the straps are. Okay, so one there, and then one in the middle. Okay, and then your bag is done. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. So I'm back. I attach all my snaps. Okay, so, and I also put one here because I kind of like closing that off. I mean, you don't have to. You can leave it open. You can leave it that way. Okay. Let's talk about options. I know some of you sometimes might not have snaps to put on the stuff. Sometimes tools can be expensive. If you don't, you can always attach ribbon. So a little ribbon and then do little bows and then tie it. You can always do that. Bag hardware. I know a lot of you had asked me questions about hardware and where to get it. There's a lot of websites online that have. I do have a little bit here in the store, but I don't have a big selection. Another option that you can consider to go to secondhand stores, purses that nobody wants anymore. Take the hardware from it. It's a little bit more affordable. Other than that, you'll have to buy it online. Amazon sometimes has good prices in hardware, and they do fast shipping. There's also certain other websites that really do mostly bags and stuff. Another thing I would like to ask you guys is, what would you guys like to see as videos? I know some of you might be interested in bags, some of you might be interested in other things, quilting, table runners. What would you be interested to learn? If I have enough people asking for one thing, maybe I'll do a tutorial on it. Well, and we came down to the end of the day, the end of our sewing class. Actually, your sewing tutorial. Well, we're done. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit interrupted today by customers coming in the store, but I hope I gave you enough instructions to complete the project. We'll see you next Saturday for another Sewing Saturday. Happy sewing, everybody, and thank you for watching.